It's the truth.
When you speak out against one, you're speaking out against them all.
People think it's a brotherhood of law enforcement. Well, there's also the fear of retaliation.
If you're the victim of racism, sexism, if you see corruption, if you see excessive force, keep your big mouth shut or you immediately become a threat. And it's as black and white as the police cars that we drive.
What's up, guys? Welcome in. Yeah. Let me get my chat going over here. Let's keep watching, guys.
This is Fontana Police Department, where I worked for 17 years, devoted 17 long years of my life, but yet I was walked out like a common criminal.
This is one thing that I don't think cops understand. When they go around and violate people's rights, yada, yada, yada. I know that cops have this thing called what is it called, man? A courtesy. Have you guys heard of the cops' courtesy cards? Did you guys know that that's an actual thing? Courtesy cards, where they give their family members these courtesy cards. And when they get pulled over, they can show the cops, hey, I got this courtesy card, man. Let me go. And there was this one cop who didn't honor the courtesy card. And because he didn't honor the courtesy card, which I think was the wife of like some lieutenant in a different department, because the cop didn't honor it, he started getting messed with in his department. And so he sued the department, right? Just so you guys know, nothing came about as far as like changing this whole policy regarding courtesy cards. They're still out there. But what did happen was it was exposed that they actually had these courtesy cards. It was exposed in court. So it's a fact. They are there. They're there. And he sued them. And that's why I went to court. So, I mean, is that shit even legal? Are courtesy cards legal? Right? Yeah. So.
So what you do is...
What I was trying to say when I started that was the fact that cops, they go out violating people's rights and they don't care if there's new laws. They'll go out there and gladly enforce these bullshit laws, right? That's why they say there's no good cops, and I agree with that. Because even the nicest cop with the nicest smile will fucking violate your rights, or will arrest you if it's law with a smile and a good demeanor. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm trying to say is, these cops don't know that, but they're actually taking the rights away of their own family members, their grandkids, and their ancestors, because once the government takes rights away, they don't want to give them back. Once government takes rights away, they don't give them back, folks. So that's something to consider when approaching this thing called life.
You let this portion spin in your hand, and you would lift your own hand up so you don't end up striking any portion of your body. And you would whip it frontwards and backwards. One of the things that attracted me to the position of law enforcement was going to the police station with my dad. And that, of course, makes quite an impression on a young man seeing your father in uniform. And my assumption is that anything that law enforcement did was okay, or otherwise they couldn't do it.
We all go back to the Adam 12 TV series, where I would watch as a kid how professional they were. It's a prestigious position where you're honest, you're fair. It was more like a hero role.
In my community, there was a time where criminal activity was rampant. Crack cocaine hit the streets and there was a lot of violence. And as I looked around the community, I wanted to make a difference in society.
So this is basically my 18-year career right here. I started in Fontana in 2002, and I was a patrol officer until 2007 when I got promoted to rank of corporal. My first Employee of the Month award for catching a robbery suspect. They robbed a gentleman at an ATM. I always had hope and ambition that I'm going to get up higher in the organization.
Morning, brother.
Ready? I had 18 years of service with the Fontana Police Department. Good job. Nice catch. Where I was a robbery homicide detective.
This is a case that has shocked the senses of the most veteran investigators.
I enjoyed solving cases and, you know, in those 2 a.m. phone calls.
This is my commencement ceremony where I graduated, class of 96.
In 1995, I applied for the Los Angeles Police Department.
I was part of the mobile field force unit.
And in 2000, I decided to get closer to my home. So I looked through the Inland Empire, and the Fontana Police Department seemed like an organization that I could happily work for.
This was my uniform that I wore. Still clean and pressed. When I was working at Fontana, I was called to service to serve in Iraq, and I was decorated. I also served in Afghanistan and was given an award by the Afghan National Police. I came to Fontana to buy the American dream. And my whole dream was one day when I retired from the police department that I would go into city council and possibly make a run for the mayor. I just love Fontana.
Fontana has come a long way. You have people that drive from the LA area to Fontana because they'll get a lot more housing space for their money. And they've only come within the last 20 years.
These cops are pretty much talking about how the departments turn their backs on them and yada, 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 yada. But, you know, it's hard to feel sorry for them because when they're a part of the whole thing, you know what I mean? They enforce these laws. They arrest people. I'm sure they violated people's rights before, you know? When it's time to throw you under the bus, just these cops, they should know that once they turn in that badge, they're no longer cops. They're no longer part of that cover-up, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's still a lot of them that have retired and get away with it with their old cop buddies, but I can only imagine how many fucking real crimes and murders and stuff these cops have gotten away with, whether they do it with the uniform on or off. You just think about all the gangs that the LA Sheriff Department started. Hey, thanks, Money 420. Good looking out, bro.
At one time, there was the Orange Groves.
It's my news channel. This is where we drop it.
Today, we have a lot of manufacturing taking place. You have Napa auto industry, you have Mercedes-Benz plants here, you have large distribution warehouses that have taken advantage of the vast unused land that's down here. The freight trucks that come and go, sad to say, there's a lot of truckers who transport narcotics, stolen goods. So there was a great need for undercover officers, a great need for officers to work in the community and target that illicit activity.
Mayors.
As soon as I signed up with the Fontana Police Department, I started noticing it was different. It was a predominantly Caucasian organization, which I didn't have a problem with. But I did notice that the minorities there seemed very stressed and very reserved.
As of 2008, you can only see one black officer there, another black officer here, this guy was a recruit, and myself, and that's it. So a total of 3 out of over 200 officers.
It was a culture shock. I started realizing that, you know, for a community that's, you know, 70% Hispanic, the numbers of the department were really disproportionate.
All the upper management was all white. I was one of the few Mexican-American police officers. I had heard the stories of former Mexican-American police officers that worked at Fontana PD and left, specifically because of racism. One thing to say about racism, you can't see it, but you can certainly feel it, and I felt it.
There's a lot of history in Fontana that people don't realize. So as we go down Banana Street, we'll approach the steel mill. This was the bread and butter for many years for Fontana blue-collar workers.
Fontana, a few miles from Los Angeles, is the home of the largest steel mill west of the Mississippi River.
Henry J. Kaiser, now furnishing steel for the sinews of war.
Come 1941, Kaiser Steel in Fontana was employing thousands of people to run that steel mill 24/7. So you had a problem with the fact that a lot of the able-bodied men who were working in the steel mills were being drafted to go fight the war.
A mass migration is pouring into the 7 western states, eager to share in the industrial expansion of a region where people want to live.
And a lot of these workers that were brought to Fontana specifically came from the Deep South, the very Deep South, where there was, deep-seated racism.
If you Google Fontana, you'll see that one of its nicknames is Fun-Tucky. A lot of minorities were coming into the community and taking steel mill jobs. Blacks were pushed into the upper areas closer to the north, away from the center cities of Fontana. My uncle owned property up here, and he warned me that the KKK used to burn crosses on his lawn. And he questioned why I would even want to come to Fontana, and I told him, Unc, that's a thing of the past. Well, it wasn't necessarily that far from the past. One day, I had a call in this area, and I came across a rather large house, and I found out that it was actually the home of the Grand Wizard of the KKK. From what I heard, there would be Klan rallies held in the backyard. Back in the days, they marched up and down downtown Main Street to City Hall. And they attacked quite a few people who came into this community. The shooting of Dover Howard and the burning of the Black family, those were just severe incidents. There was a culture of white supremacy in Fontana.
Thank you, Angie, for everything. I hope you get better.
And I'm here to tell you that some of that old negativity still permeate the halls of Fontana Police Department.
The first...
Excuse me, guys. When there's times where I've gone out recording and I've asked a couple cops, and to see the reaction on their face was priceless, in my opinion, because they'd never heard of it like that. And these are cops, 2 cops that I spoke to. And I said, look, man, it's important that everybody records the police, right? Like, there's a lot of things that are said out there. But this thought came across my mind, and I asked myself, if everybody recorded police in the course of their duties, could the practice of racism exist, in policing? Well, obviously it's probably gonna exist whether the cop is a racist or a narcissist, right? But to see the look on their faces, and I said, would it be pretty much allowed, within policing if we had it on camera? Could that practice exist? And their faces were like, damn, that's a good point. And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's best to do something about it if it exists in your area. If there's a cop that's known to be doing that kind of shit all the time, well, then fucking record it, right? What better way to catch a person who's behaving like a narcissist or like a racist or whatever than to record it and upload it? And yeah, I think that's a good thing, man. If everybody records police, right? Would you guys agree? Some people say that not everybody should record the police, but I believe that everybody should record the police. Turn my mic up for you guys. Can you hear me better now? Yeah. Everybody should record the police. Do you guys think everybody should record the police? Hit that thumbs up and give me a 1 if you think everyone should record the police. I mean, we should be like robots when we see the police, just like fucking automatic thinking, like without even thinking, you know, just force of habit, make it become a force of habit where it's like you see a cop, it's like, oh shit, bam, record. That's how it is for me. It's straight up force of habit for me. Wherever I see cops, I already know my family's like, yup, he's gonna record them. You know what I mean? Shit. There's people out there saying, no, man, not everybody should record the police because you're gonna go to jail and you're gonna have to pay $100,000 and yada yada yada. It's like, really, bro? Record the police, everybody.
Eye-opening instant that I really saw something was up was we're sitting there in briefing and they wanted to do a ninja hunt. And I'm like thinking, what the hell's a ninja hunt? Later I found out a ninja was a derogatory term for African American.
I would be in the locker room getting dressed and I'd hear the word nigger thrown around. And I'd go around and look who it was, and here you have 2 supervisors standing there with an astonished look on their face like, oop, we've been caught.
BAMA it's an acronym and it stands for Black Male Adult. BAFA is a Black Female Adult. And this is stuff that they say on the radio. I got a BAMA running from me southbound on, you know, Sierra. You know, it's like, it doesn't sound like they're humans.
You could tell that they didn't want nothing to do with the Mexican community. They would make fun of me saying, oh, you're probably into cockfighting, you know what you Mexicans do.
There was a time when I was on patrol and it's Christmas time and Fontana's predominantly, you know, Hispanic. So they thought it'd be funny to run a game to impound cars or Christmas trees. And then you'd be ruining the Christmas of undocumented people, which is cruel.
When I achieved the award of Officer of the Year, I was told by several close Caucasian colleagues that they said that they can't believe they gave the award to a nigger. You look at my arrest record, you look at the things that I accomplished, it far surpassed most of my white colleagues. Yet every time a promotion came around, I was skipped over. There was a time where I became intrigued with the symbology that I've noticed within the department. Not only was it closely related to neo-Nazi paraphernalia, it was also related to local street gangs that are white supremacists, such as Hell's Angels. If you look closely here at this patch, you'll see the sinister red eyes on this owl, and you'll see the keys depicted here in the skull of this owl, and you'll see RRT, which is supposed to stand for Rapid Response Team. These were Nordic runes. I searched throughout the United States law enforcement databases and throughout the internet. I have never found any agency who utilizes Nordic runes, which are related to white supremacy, for their logos. Officers would actually wear these patches, and they also had this symbol inside of the chief's office at one time. This is not a coincidence that we find these same symbols on white supremacists.
Why don't they get rid of them when they find that shit on them? Like, they're just like, you know what, fuck it, man, just cover it up. It's okay to be, you know, racist, just cover it up. We'll keep you on the force. Fuck. But you would think that this type of shit, like, would automatically fucking, like, exclude a cop. You know what I mean? Like, hell no, that cop, he can't be trusted. Freaking hates black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a racist cop. He's got the tattoos. It's been proven. I'm a black guy. He hates black people. Like, yeah, no, exclude his ass. Same with liars. The cops that get busted for lying on their reports should never be allowed to police again, you know? But look at it at the LA Sheriff's Department. They're known gang members. They got tattoos and everything, and guaranteed that those LA Sheriff gangs still exist. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I believe they still exist. I believe so. But you know, It doesn't matter if you're a racist cop or a narcissist cop. If you're a bad cop, you shouldn't be allowed to work on the force. How do you get rid of these bad cops? That's what in reality, that's kind of what I'm trying to pay attention to in this here documentary and everything that we do and everything that I do on a personal level. I'm trying to figure out, how do we get rid of these motherfuckers that are in the departments thriving, whether they're a bad cop or whether they're just narcissists, racists, just evil. You know what I mean? Like, how do we get rid of them? I'm always looking for that. Always looking for that. Because we know that there's an obvious problem. There is racism in policing. There is narcissism in policing, which I think both are just as evil and dangerous. How do we get rid of them?
We find for Fontana Police Department. It shows to an outsider that this agency is sympathetic and believes in the same ideologies as your street white supremacist gang member.
Need more people with cameras out there to keep them in check. Absolutely, bro. That's what I'm getting at. That's what my whole plight has been. That's what my angle has been, is to encourage people to record police, to start channels and upload it. Send me your videos at recordpolicenow@gmail.com. I'll do my best to highlight your channel so you can get some support. There's a lot of channels out there doing that, but be weary of the channels who will take your video, get tons and tons of views, but you'll get no support. You'll get no subs at all. Yeah, I don't know about that. Be careful with that. I'm always doing my best to get you support, right? So, yeah, man, build this community of people holding cops accountable. You know, we've had 6 different police chiefs, you know, resign out of their seats because of the work that we do. Sorry, guys. Let's keep watching.
My name is Alan Hofstadter. I am the founder and chairman of the American Phoenix Project. Some of you know I was one of those guys that was out there at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Yeah! How many of you here know that that was a total false flag staged event? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
1776! Recently, I was made aware that our former Deputy Chief, Alan Hofstadter, was involved in the insurrection at the Capitol.
President Trump must be inaugurated. There must be long prison terms, while execution is the just punishment for the ringleaders of this coup.
I was shocked that any law enforcement officer would have participated in any attack against our country's Capitol building. Not to mention the fact that many officers were hurt and injured during that incident. He's a person that spiraled out into these...
But everybody should just back the blue and obey and just comply with police because they're cops, right? Just comply. No, never question authority, right? Never question authority, guys. Shit. Look, I don't know what's real or fake. That's not what this video is about. This video is about a cop that was actually there.
Extremist views because of the environment that he was raised in there. Over the course of my career, I started hearing about complaints of use of force and police brutality. In custody deaths, I started hearing about the stomping of the trachea and the crushing of another person's spleen. And 3 people died in a matter of 5 months. I personally witnessed when officers were involved in questionable shootings or violent acts. Instead of them being disciplined, they actually were promoted. Here we are today, and we're starting to see more and more cases arise. Very few have garnered discipline from the administration.
You want to talk about racism? I got a story for you. In 1994, I was assigned to our crime prevention unit. Myself and another employee from the unit were asked to attend an autopsy of a murder victim by the name of Jimmy Burleson. And Jimmy Burleson was an African-American male, and he had been found behind a Kentucky Fried Chicken. So at one point during the autopsy, there was this technician, and he comes in and he looks at the victim and says, "Hey, did you notice this over here?" And he's pointing, and I'm not sure what he's pointing at. What it ended up being was an eaten drumstick from a piece of chicken. And he goes on to say, wow, looks like even though he was getting stabbed to death, he still managed to hold on to the fried chicken. This technician had just
That's some evil ass shit.
returned from lunch, and he went back and retrieved one of his eaten drumsticks and placed it in his hand. I think he thought we were going to laugh right. And the case was corrupt. I don't think anything happened as far as any investigation, and certainly not any, disciplinary action.
When I finally seen the Burleson photo, I was astonished and outraged. I could not believe that any human being would degrade and desecrate a defenseless corpse. The stereotype of black men eating chicken. It's outrageous. The murder has never been solved, and throughout the history of Fontana, how many supervisors, how many people of power knew about this incident and failed to investigate it? To think of the damage that these people were capable of doing under the guise of a badge. One would say, why did you stay? I wasn't gonna let rogue cops, racist cops push me away from the job that
I'll bring my mic a little closer, guys. I know some of you guys say that it's a little low, but I'll try to speak a little bit more into it. Let me get this a little closer, guys. Yeah, all right. I hope that's better. Let's keep going.
I love, and a good paying job at that. I would rather stay and fight and hope that people around me would join the fight and we could clean up the department. My partner, Andy Anderson, and I started to report the incidents of police.
They always say, man, if you want to change, how policing is, why don't you become a cop? Really? Waste my time and shit? All these cops are afraid to lose their pensions. That's why they just obey.
Misconduct and also racism within the department.
When you approach your police administration as an officer or as any police employee and you expose corruption or this is happening, racism, sexism, any of those things, they immediately resent and kill the messenger. They just don't like whistleblowers, period.
You start going out there and start questioning, soon you're going to be labeled as a rat. That's a death wish. And if they want to make it rough on you, they will.
I came to my locker room one day and I noticed somebody broke into my locker. I opened it up and my locker was disheveled. Clearly someone searched my locker. And then I was followed home and surveillance was conducted on my home.
I ended up getting removed from narcotics, and it was for the needs of the department. And there's no other justification for it.
The final straw was when my partner Andy Anderson and I were falsely accused of misconduct by the Fontana Police Department.
My career was basically done to the point where I would always be an officer. I would never promote. So my dreams of making lieutenant, of making captain, and making positive change were gone. They were dead.
You had city council personnel. I reported it to them. I wrote numerous grievances to them.
So Dave and I had talked and we said, you know what, this needs to stop. They think they could do whatever they want and destroy people's lives, and they're not going to do that to us.
No update on the mediation hearing that we just attended. In 2016, we decided to file a discrimination lawsuit against the Fontana Police Department. In this lawsuit, we outlined the various discriminatory actions and the fact that we were retaliated against and skipped over for promotion. I hoped it would bring change. After I filed the lawsuit, I expected them to back off, but instead,
Yeah, I don't know. I think what I have, because I've seen, cops in positions, in high positions that are black, Mexican, Asian, sergeants. It all depends in the area. You go to Mesa, Arizona, they're all going to be Mormon. You know what I mean? I guess I think it depends on the area, how it works out. I think in most places it's going to be like how dirty you are. How much of a a blind eye you're willing to turn, to real corruption. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the chief is put in position by the city council. So just think about that. That's why the city council, the cities want the sheriff department out there, because the sheriff is elected by the people. They can't control the sheriff, but they can control the chief of police. But they do. They back each other up. They protect each other, and that's why things are fucking crooked like they are. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not just one police department. So if you sue for racism, it's not going to fix anything. You're just going to get fucking paid fat. And that is another problem that I see with policing, is the fact that cops want to sue the shit out of every department. Every department has been sued by a cop. Think about that shit. That female cop that slept around with everybody, she sued the department and got $500,000. She got $500,000 to cheat on her husband, to be a hoe. She got paid. She got paid quicker than those girls on OnlyFans. Shit.
anger intensified and they wanted to make a statement and an example out of us.
I was already suffering from anxiety disorders and some other issues, like you couldn't sleep and stuff. And I was walked into the captain's office and they told me they were worried about my mental well-being. They sent me to the doctor and I was ruled, mentally unfit to be an officer, and I never went back to work another day.
They falsely accused me of violating a department policy by leaving my wife on my insurance until I was completely divorced, and they forced me out.
Won't need that ever again.
This case has been going on 6 years.
Law enforcement investigative material, done.
We've lost an exorbitant amount of money, and we have had to downsize into a much smaller house.
Better worth recycling than me keeping it.
The process of this lawsuit has been excruciatingly tiring, and it's caused a tremendous amount of stress on my family.
Ready for school tomorrow.
Headed to school, the big boy. Love you. Yeah. You tired?
Yeah.
Papa's tired too. I can never ever get this case to end. I have to constantly think about it, and I have to constantly revisit the pain that was inflicted upon me over the course of my career there.
I didn't set out to be a whistleblower at all. I wanted to finish my career. I had a young daughter and a wife. I don't have a degree. I had no other skill.
Damn good point, Lou Sapphire. I agree with that, man. Why do you need blue line propaganda? It's too... I like to think of it as, because as long as they have the support from the old people in nice neighborhoods, that's why they need that, to continue that blue line propaganda. Just back the blue, you old dummy. You fucking old idiot. You've been back in the blue for 50 years, you old big dummy. Keep back in the blue, you big dummy. That's why to keep the the folks, the old folks in the nice neighborhoods to make them feel safe. That's why they got the blue line propaganda. And you think these old folks in these nice neighborhoods, they give a shit if cops are violating people's Fourth Amendment rights? Hell no. Get that undesirable the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. I don't give a shit if you violate his Fourth Amendment rights. Get him out of here. Fuck out of here. Right? Like I said, you go to the nice neighborhood and you knock on the doors and you say, excuse me, we're doing a little survey here, a little research thing here, trying to find out, when was the last time you received a ticket from the police? Psh, it's been 20 years. Never. Right? You go to the hood, knock on the doors, be like, bam, every neighborhood in the hood. When was the last time you guys got a ticket from the cops? 5 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, yesterday, last week, a month ago, they impounded my car. Like, shit, 3 times last month. Damn. Every house, just about every house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I gotta tell you guys, I want to teach everyone their rights. But I truly want to teach people from the hood their rights. Because they're constantly getting messed with. And these cops they messed around with people in the hood. Let's not fake the funk and feel sorry for these cops right here suing the department. That's what cops do. They sue the department. If we could only add up all the money that ex-cops have taken from the people, you guys would be pissed.
I'm basically a police officer is what I could do.
That's all I know how to do.
Going through the termination process gave me anxiety and I had trouble sleeping. You know, that stress of that every day was very, very hard.
Right now, it's just over our heads. It's just there. It's like at some point we need closure.
I hate to be like, you're soft, bro.
I'm not the same person. My wife, she's broken down many times crying that she wants her old husband back. You know, and it actually chokes me up sometimes because I
don't mean to laugh, guys.
I know I'm messed up. Sorry. And I know I'm not who I was, and I miss that person.
Bro, wow.
You know, sometimes you question, was it even worth it? You know,
I wish the Godfather walked in right now.
Anxiety and stress that it puts upon you, and it's always in the back of your head.
Snap out of it, my boy. Snap out of it.
Once everything's said and done, you know, we want to leave California,
grab him like that
and the main reason is I want to get far.
Come on, wake up.
I'm just afraid I might get stopped one day and evidence or contraband planted in my car, or I don't want to be close to their sphere of influence, to their power. I just want to get away and put that chapter of my life completely behind me.
American policing has a problem with white supremacy, and when it manifests itself, it needs to be dealt with.
Saying this as a conservative, Republicans are the worst violators because they're the ones who are mostly the ones in power in law enforcement.
Hilarious. Michael Reed.
You know, a lot of people look at you as a cop and they hate the police over just the one paintbrush. They hate all law enforcement. Here we are, officers wanting to expose the corruption from within. We have firsthand knowledge. We've experienced it. We've been through it. We've seen it. We've witnessed it. We've been victimized by it. We're doing this to make policing work.
Oh, so you finally approached the blue line. Oh, bro. Oh, man. You can act like a man. Right? Fuck yeah. Where I grew up, man, they didn't let you be like that, man. Be like, go cry in your room. Go there and cry in your room. I don't want to see that shit. But your mom will tell you that shit. Hazte hombre, cabrón. Go outside and work on something, fix something, do something. Get your ass outside. You get over your feelings out there doing work. Like, fuck, Mom. You can act like a man. Just like The Godfather and shit. I think my mom was watching The Godfather and took it to heart on our ass. You know what I mean? She's like, be a man. Shit, Mom. Cops don't hate people of color. They hate us all. That's true, but some cops really do hate people of color. I'll tell you that much. Let's keep watching, folks.
Society wants it to be and what it should be and what people expect.
Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about.
We are hoping that we'll encourage other people to speak up, but we're also hoping to shed light on the process in which it takes to speak up. I still believe in our country, in our law enforcement, and I believe in our criminal justice system. But I cannot give up the fight, and I will not give up the fight.
Damn, James Swanson. Yeah. See, they settled for a lawsuit. They settled for a lawsuit. Fontana PD. Yeah, of course not. They'd rather keep it under wraps now. The settlement, the money they got. That's all they wanted. More money. Yeah, I mean, it's so much bullshit. So much fucking bullshit. Cops should sign a fucking thing saying, nah, man, I can't sue. I don't give a fuck. Whatever happens to me, I can't sue. It's the risk I'm willing to take for a fucking pension, right? I won't sue the department. Like it, or if you sue the department and you get money, it has to be public. It has to be known. It has to be public information, so we the people know exactly what's happening. What happens is they sign this fucking clause, this agreement to fucking keep it under wraps, right? And then later on, after so much time passes, they'll whether it's like 2 years or whatever this shit is stipulated, that shit'll it'll be like it never fucking happened. You won't be able to find the shit nowhere. Fucking nowhere. And then we're all left in the dark. I'd be like, ooh. Yeah. Not enough people are not enough people are questioning authority. Not enough people are recording police. Not enough people know their rights. And that's what I think that we all should be trying to encourage people to do. Pick up a camera, record the police, go to your city council meetings, go to the courthouses, even if you have to, beg for permission to go in there and document court cases. We need to truly up what we do. There's a lot of infighting and a lot of people afraid of competition or other channels. If you guys are going to work on your channels, you guys are going to start a channel, let's make them educational. Let's work, let's brainstorm. Let's work together. Let's figure out how we can, better ourselves as a people, for the common man to understand and know where to go to find out information, understand case laws for certain types of arrests. Was your Fourth Amendment right violated? Things like that. And we need to, I believe that this First Amendment auditing community has created an area or a place where we can go and at least know and understand what our First Amendment rights are, right? It was inevitable, it just, by happenstance, where we needed a place to go to learn it, and we found it. We created it. The people did, right? And a lot of us have stuck around. A lot of you guys have stuck around for a lot of years now. And I think it's time to really up our game. There's a lot of people going to city council meetings. There's a lot of people trying to, help with case law, like the channel we just shared on the main channel, Teresa Bucola's channel, where she's fighting stuff pro se. That's where we need to be as a people, guys. Encouraging each other, going into the comment sections and commenting back and forth. You can do this, you can do that. This is what happened on this video. There's a lot of times where I share videos and I try to educate people on what I see, what things could have been done differently, either from the cop or from the person that's recording the video. But there's a lot of stuff that I miss, and you guys catch on to it quick. So, yeah, a lot of you guys should have channels. There was a guy that was commenting the other day, and he was on point, and I'm like, damn, bro, let's do an interview, because you seem to be hella smart and shit. You seem to be pointing shit out. And I think if that guy were to start a YouTube channel, he would probably get 1 million subs probably within the first year, just because he was that much on point. He's pointing shit out. I'm like, this guy knows his shit. I have the First Amendment right to have me, them, their crispy chonies. Sound News Network. Yeah, what's up, Patriot Night? Hell yeah, bro. Good to see you, my brother. For sure, Boyle Corruption. Thanks for the spotlight on 68 Shot to live in the same city and been to a meeting with them. Good shit, bro. Boyle Corruption, good shit. Yeah. I don't know. Download the app, YouTube Studio. I have to call you back, Crystal. I don't think he knows I'm live. But yeah, guys, I have to actually go. I have to get ready. I have to take my daughter. But we will see you guys on the next one, man. Thank you all for being here. Patriot Night, Utah Cop Watch, Claudette, Michael Reed. Hell yeah, we're like the Breakfast Club up in this bitch, right? That's what our new thing is, the Breakfast Club, y'all. So I like going live in the mornings. I feel like that's when I'm at my best. So I like drinking my coffee and hanging out with you guys. So we got the Breakfast Club going on, guys. So expect me to be going live in the mornings. And we'll be make sure you guys have your favorite hot chocolate or coffee and all that. What's up, Topher Life? Toodles, bro. Toodles, peeps. All right, guys. I'm going to shut this down. I got to go get ready. Peace out.